Closing up shop here on Overtime here on WOTM. Mark, one of the things we wanted to talk about before we got out of here is Bama baseball and Bama softball. Bama baseball team earned a berth into the NCAA regional. They're over in Ruston, Louisiana, where Louisiana Tech is hosting that regional. Meanwhile, the Alabama softball team over in Oklahoma City for the College World Series. And I think is a great position really for both teams to get started off here. Bama baseball play on Friday. We'll take a look here, and Bama softball will play coming up on Thursday. What are some of your predictions here as we roll ahead here in the playoffs?
I think that they're in a great spot because they're in a region where they're really is not as tough as the SEC.
Yeah.
A lot of these teams don't represent what the SEC does. So I think that break alone is enough for them to get by and maybe make it to a super regional.
Exactly, and I think women's softball team, they'll play Arizona, and UCLA will play Florida State on the other side of that bracket. So the winners will play the winners, and the losers will play the losers. So if Bama does win, they're favored to win that game, and UCLA does win, they're favored to win that game. I think it creates a really interesting dynamic coming up on Saturday between the Bruins and the Tide. How do you see Bama overall shaking out there on that side of things?
Well, I think Bama's one of the better teams in the nation. I think softball, you expect them to be fighting for a national championship, I believe, with the success they've had overall. And this year, I think that's where they should be.
Exactly. So the Tide and Tiger baseball and softball team really playing in some very, very important games, one in Louisiana, one in Oklahoma City. You mentioned it with the Bama baseball team. Their last win was against Tennessee in Hoover at the SEC tournament. Tennessee is better than all three of these teams that they're going to play in the regional. So they'll come in with some confidence heading into that matchup on Friday. And Bama softball, once again, always seemingly at the Women's College World Series, and they're back there once again here in 2021. Well, that is our show for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us here on Overtime here on WOTM. Mark, thank you so much for joining us here. We'll see you again coming up on Monday. Have John back in on Tuesday. We'll see you again on Wednesday as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. So